Hey, what's up folks? Welcome back to another 3D Hangout. My name is Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
Good morning everybody, I'm Pedro, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we're here to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right, this is where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects for you folks at home, or about. Hello everybody, welcome to the show. We are hanging out in the chat room on Discord. So if you want to join us during the show, you can drop us some comments, some questions on the Discord server. The link to that is discord.gg/Adafruit. And we're hanging out in the live broadcast chat room. Real quick, we're going to say hello and good morning to everybody hanging out there.
Massive ups to everybody hanging out in not just Discord, but all of the chat rooms over on YouTube. Saying good morning to Moen.
Hello.
Suscotronic.
Hello.
Juan Ambrolnia. And over on the Discord, we have Mr. Certainly Bruce,
hey,
Mark
Bruce.
Gambler, who is on vacation.
Yay, that's
hanging
awesome, Mark.
out.
I'm so happy for you.
Over on Twitch and Facebook and Periscope. I think LinkedIn as well.
Yeah,
good morning, everybody.
Good. Sorry, I had to just say it. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with some housekeeping in the show. Okay. So we talked about Discord. That's where we're hanging out. Please join us. We're there. Yeah. All right. Next up is the 100 Days of Masking. So if folks are ordering things on Adafruit, you get a free mask for every order. So any order that's over $1, which is just about every order, you get a free mask as a part of the 100 Days of Masking initiative that's going on here in the States.
And I think it's a really cool black mask.
Yeah, if you head on over to adafruit.com/free, there's more details and all the things you need to know about free stuff. For folks that are ordering anything that's over $1, like we said, the black surgical mask is what you'll get for US orders only, as it says here. For orders that are $99 more, you get the mask plus an Adafruit Perma Proto half-size breadboard. And then for orders that are $149 or more, you get the Perma Proto, the black mask, and also a randomly selected Adafruit Stemma QT board. And then orders for $200 or more, you get the black mask, the Perma Proto, the Stemma QT board, and UPS ground shipping, free UPS ground shipping for continental US only. For orders that are $299 or more, you get the free shipping, you get the Stemma QT, you get the Perma Proto half-size breadboard, the black surgical mask, and a Circuit Playground Express. Sweet. How many freebies can you get? All of them. So that's that. There's some more details. It says it's a limited time, but we keep running this out, so that's good. Not running this out, but you know, continuing on with it. All right, so that's the free deals going on. All right, we're going to jump into kind of the CircuitPython meetings that happen every Monday at 2 p.m. This is a great time to check in with the CircuitPython devs and the CircuitPython community. It happens on the Discord server every Monday at 2 p.m. with the exception of like holidays in the US. It'll sometimes happen on Tuesday, but everybody gets to eat some cake. Well, maybe not.
I heard that was a delicious cake.
Yeah, I know. All right. For newsletters, if you want to check out the new products newsletter, this happens once a week. Stuff gets added to the Adafruit shop, and this newsletter will keep you up to date on all the newness. So you can go to adafruit.com/newsletter. Daily newsletters as well. For folks that are interested in sort of these categories, you can go to adafruitdaily.com and check out the categories that you might like. If you like maker business, we have that. Python on hardware, 3D printing, Maker Business and Biohacking and others. So check it out. I also want to mention the IoT Monthly is a really good one. Brent, who's head of Adafruit IO, is leading that one. I wish we had like more, like all the little banners for like each newsletter, because Anne does a great job, and I think John's doing the Make Code newsletter as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, newsletters, check them
There's
out.
always a bunch, so
There's
definitely
always good
subscribe, check it out, because there's just so much news. Let Anne and team scour and
Give you the very
compile
best.
all of the best projects and videos, and most importantly, libraries and code and all the wonderful things that get your project up and running.
Yeah. All right, we're going to jump back in to the Discord chat room, say hello to anybody that we might have missed, and then we'll kick it off with the show.
Shout outs to newcomers. We have Java Grunt, we have Armin VP, we have Writer Sadlovsky hanging out in the YouTube and in the Discord. Andy Calloway hanging out. Good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's Pico project.
Pico project. Vámonos, aquí estamos.
So we have a bunch of libraries, code, firmware that was released a couple weeks ago in preparation for launch for the Raspberry Pi Pico. This awesome $4 board. It's amazing. The RP2040 chip is amazing. Lamar and team is already working on feather versions of it.
Itsy bitsy versions of it, all flavors, cuties and beyond.
So as we get those all nicely spun up, of course, we had to make our rounds of cases and Lego mounts and plates for building a cool project. So one of the first things that Noé made was this awesome little case for it.
This is a 3D printed snap fit case. No screws. You have these really nice built-in standoffs. A little bit of an opening on the bottom there, so you can have wires pass through. You got your USB micro B connector on there, and extra room on the sides for connectors or whatever you might need.
You also have these little snap fit parts for a case that goes right on top. I did not grab that part, but it pretty much looks just like this. It's just a little case for it if you want to add some LEDs, and then we expanded upon that and made a little bit bigger one. So if you want to have a nice project with a portable project with like a battery, like a 500 milliamp or 100 milliamp hour on there, you also have these recessed parts for adding buttons on there. Because one of the things that people were saying right away is that you need a boot selector button right on the outside of your case, so you can go into the bootloader mode whenever you are prototyping some projects. So this accepts the 12 millimeter push buttons on there. I will not attempt to push it in there because I already cut myself.
Yeah, be careful with this, folks. When you're installing it, I guess just be wary of the pins. They are sharp, and you do need a forceful push.
So one of the additions for this case is having a little part for a slide switch. You have your standoffs that have the height for having a battery or any of the wires that are going to be shooting down and then out of the back here. You also have your nice little USB cutout to have that plug in. So
I have a question. Can I interrupt?
Sure.
Can it be installed upside down with the labels showing up? I haven't tried that, and I'm just thinking in my head like I see a lot of folks are soldering their Pi Pico upside down so that they can see the labels on it.
Yeah,
and I don't think it fits, does it?
Yeah, something is colliding with it.
It's the USB port, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. And then the port for
it. See, the reason why this works in one orientation is because there's just nothing on the bottom. There's nothing on the bottom of the PCB that's like in the way of the standoffs. So if folks want to mount it the other way, I don't know.
I will come up with it. I'll edit the design. That's a good point. Because a lot of people are going to want to be able to solder to this with.
I just want to echo what kind of Scott was saying over the CircuitPython meeting. It's just like that's just the way the board's designed. If you're gonna want something better, you're gonna just have to
make your own board.
Make your own board, or get something that's maybe costs a little bit more than $4.
So we do have an Adafruit AR app that shows some of the labeling on there. Trevor is working on some fixes for that, so it'll be more recognized. The image recognition should be better.
To show that.
Well, the reason why we're not showing it is because once it's wired up to things, it has trouble.
But we can still show it off.
Showing it, but we can quickly.
Yeah, we can quickly show it off. So let me turn down the brightness on the phone. And so this is a free app you can get from the iOS store. We'll link it at the bottom. Click on Board Scanner. Gives you an idea of what's going on. And really, there's not much to it other than just put it up to the camera.
And here we go. Listing of all the pins, the ground pins, and all of the outputs that you can attach to these, what is it, 20 plus GPIO?
I forgot.
23? 28? Over 20. 20 plus.
It only works on the front side because that's where you need it. So my camera's got a fixed lens, this webcam, so that's why it looks blurry. But hey, there you go. It's working so far. But yeah, as you said, once you put it inside of a case,
It's a little bit more cleaner
It's a
than
little
having
bit.
a paper printout for that, which is what their
Right.
solution was.
does it work even when it's upside down? I think maybe
There's going to be an update to get some
Right.
better image recognition for this.
There you go. Hey, it still works with the red
Sweet.
pegs showing off at some angles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So check it out. It's free download for
Just
iOS.
search Adafruit AR app on the App Store.
I was not planning to show that, but yeah, I forgot. This is a little cool little Raspberry Pi.
Java Grunt is asking, where do we find these models? I'm thinking you're talking about the Pi or the cases. The cases is linked in the guide, which we'll go over. It's also on Thingiverse.
Okay.
The Raspberry Pi model is on our GitHub and on GrabCAD.
That's right. That's correct. But yeah, ask us if what specific model, and we'll try to get it to you.
Okay, so continuing on with the cases, one of the other things that we notice people doing is they like putting these on breadboards. But sometimes you don't want to use headers and you just want to freehand solder stuff. So we made a Lego compatible mount. Probably still have this one up here.
Yeah.
So these are just your standard I forgot what is it, 2mm pegs that just print in place. And they snap right in to hold the Pi in there. And then for the actual Lego plate itself, it is just the 2x6 studs, or not studs, tubes that go on to either the studs on there or like in between. So it works on both depending on what height requirements you need for that. So those just snap in like that. And as you can see in this little project here, it's just a LED tester. Just have the little battery on the back here, which I will show. So it just plugs in like that, and you can look for the documentation on how to hook up a LiPo battery to that with a NeoPixel strip.
We made a slithering Blinka LED sign.
Yeah, so it's a slithering Blinka LED sign. On the back here, you can see that we have this LiPo battery pocket that has the studs on as well. Attaches to the back there, so you can make a nice little portable project if, again, you want to go with a Lego plate mount idea instead of a breadboard. And then we also still have these LED strip holders that Jeff made a couple weeks ago, or months ago. And then last year, actually.
Yeah, not the full year, but you get.
Yeah, so nice little way to set up a project. And probably should have talked about this one. I'm going all out of order, sorry.
It's all good.
So in terms of a portable project, I wanted to have a nice little LED tester, and one of the cool things I wanted to replicate was the, what is it called? The black LED acrylic.
Grid. Yeah.
So once it's behind there, you can't see, you can kind of see the white that's going through there, but it's completely masked out, and it has a nice like a mask of what the grid looks like on there. So it looks nice and clean, and you can have some sort of like cockpit like LED animations on there. It's really for testing. These buttons are hooked up to I think it's like pin 23 to just have like mode changes, and then this one is for the boot select. So to go into the bootloader, you have to hold down the button while you're plugging in your USB to install UF2 or to go into CircuitPython mode for that. If we take a look at how the case is actually built, it is doing the filament swap technique. So the first 6 layers are printed in white, so the diffusion can go through there, and then the last sets of layers are all in black.
Yeah.
And we'll go over to how to add that script, that built-in script into Cura.
So
I think Prusa and everybody else has those as well.
This is a great technique to keep bringing up, and it's really useful here because this is kind of the only way to achieve this effect. What Pedro's showing off now is like, well, what happens if you just make it so only the grid and the snaps are printed in black as opposed to like the whole bottom? So let's take a look.
Yeah, so you saw how clean that looked with it not completely all blacked out or masked away.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell there, but there is a ton of light leak. You can see all the additional parts that were printed in black, like the standoffs and the little clip holder, the aligners. These little guys here, these little tabs that align.
Maybe it looks a little bit better with the lower exposure time here.
Well, in person you can see all of the light leak.
The light leaks and the effect isn't quite as clean because, well, this acts as a diffuser. In any way that light will leak, it will tend to kind of show through. I mean, you can just see from the light here that the black features are showing through. So the trick is to print this whole bottom piece in black. You could print it in 2 pieces as well, but it's nice to be able to change the filament mid-print to get this effect, this multicolored print that does not need a dual extruder. It's a really cool technique. And if you guys like, we could show it on Cura.
We'll show it in the
after
we
the
jump into the learn guide for that.
Yeah.
So some of the other things that we're adding on here, the buttons to make these easy to mount and not have it attached to the actual board. We have these little Pico connectors, so you can disconnect this if you want to take out the little circuit sandwich out of here and install more things or even add more buttons to the side. There is enough room on the sides to wedge these little Pico blade connectors inside there.
It's Pico blade from Molex.
I know,
Pico.
Everything's named Pico.
Everything's Pico.
And then on the back, I'm using the little cutouts here so you can easily disconnect and recharge the battery since there is no charge circuit on the Pico.
Yeah. And the battery is a 100 milliamp little battery.
Yeah, it's a little tiny battery too. So.
But a 500 probably
You
fits?
could stick a 500 in there as well. I think we're just out of those.
Yeah.
And then of course, like I said, the slide switch just press fits in there so you can have a nice little way to turn that on and off.
Yep.
What else?
How are the 2 NeoPixel sticks assembled? Are they soldered together?
They are just butted up against each other.
Is
I
there
could
tape or
take
something?
these out. Yeah, there's a Kapton tape on the bottom here.
Sweet. That's a great idea. So the Kaplan tape keeps them together.
Insulated and keeps them together.
Like they have mounting holes, but it's nice that it just kind of floats on top.
Yeah, you'd need like a, I mean, I would take up the room for the mounting holes if I added like a little frame to mount that in.
It's crazy that it all fits in this little case.
I know. That's what I was going for to get
the
something.
Grid, does that keep it aligned with these like little squares?
Yeah,
Like
so
it actually, the LEDs go inside these guys?
I don't think it goes inside, it just goes over
just keeps
top.
it in place? Okay.
Just keeps it held down so it doesn't slide around inside the case.
Got it. Sweet.
And then, what was the other thing?
Lots
What's
of
the other point?
features.
Oh, I do have the models if you just want to print the grid separately.
Okay.
For whatever application you don't need the grid to be in there. You can have that completely separate.
Cool.
Let's see, one of the other things, jumping back over to the Lego one, I think we'll cover this in the Learn guide, just the way that it's assembled. It is split in 2 and then just glued back together, so there are no supports needed for any of the top or bottoms.
All right, you get the cleanest features, and since tolerances really need to be good here, this is the best way to do this.
To ensure that you're as close as you can be within tolerance to your printer.
Yeah.
These are all printed with the Cruelty printer, so they should have a Cruelty.
No,
so it should
cruelty.
it should have a wider printability in terms of tolerances, everything fitting together.
How cruel. Sorry. All right, you checking in there?
Yep, just people asking about the color change technique, so I guess we'll jump into the Learn guide.
Yeah, I know. So I'll just give you a little background story. I haven't done this technique in many years, and Pedro's going to teach
Yeah,
us
so it
how.
used to be like some custom scripts that you had to add on there. It's not built in. It's been built in for quite a while now, I believe.
All right. Well,
So inside of Cura, and I think that this happened, you could do this in Prusa as well.
I'm just prefacing that I am on version 4.2.1, so maybe it doesn't work. You're on version 5, I believe. I'm just a little bit
4.8.
Okay, well, I'm version a little bit.
I think
behind,
it's on
but
there.
It might still be here. So anyway,
So you go to the top menu under Extensions
here.
and Post-Processing, Modify G-Code. I wish this was more clear.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Add
Add a script, and then there's a filament change. It's the 4th one down.
Oh, sweet.
And then there you go. We're going
Which
to want
layer?
it to change on layer 6.
Okay. Depending on your layer height. So your layer height is 0.2.
Yep, so the way to find that is to actually slice it first.
Okay.
And then scrub through
Let's do that. Let me hit close.
your layers.
And I'll
just slice it.
it real quick. I'll go into the preview tab, right? Now I'm in the preview tab, and I can see here
a little
that I want to
scrub
start
on the side there.
And you see that little number pops out. So you said 6.
Yep,
right
so
there.
right there. After
That's
it's
where it
done doing
starts
all
doing
of the, what are these called?
The surface layers, the
The,
top and bottom layers, the solid layers.
Because it starts printing like cavities after it's done doing the cavities.
Right,
For
so like this is nothing, and then features start right here on layer 6.
Correct.
Okay, so we want layer 6. Go back over to prepare, or stay in preview.
It doesn't matter, yeah.
Yeah,
Extensions, post-processing, modify G-code.
Modify G-code. The filament
still
change is still there. I set it to 6. And
Initial retraction, all that I left as default.
Sure. And then this is what? Like
The position of where the nozzle goes to hang out while you change out
so
your
this
filament.
is basically saying 0, 0 is home origin.
The rest in terms of user, like UX, it depends on the whatever firmware your printer has. So the V2, dang it, I'm going to call it Cruelty again. Creality. The V2 just beeps at you.
Okay.
Don't get scared.
Right.
You just click on or push the thumb dial. Just click on the dial, and then it'll heat up the filament, allowing you to swap or rip it out.
Okay, but that's all done particularly to the Creality printers.
Depends on what printer.
We're just showing Cura. So I guess at this point, if you wanted to add another one, you could. But we just
Yeah,
want
you
one
could have
change.
mul-
You
yeah.
get multiple filament changes. Sweet. All right. Well, what do I do here? Close.
That's
and
it.
That's it.
And down here, you'll see these little tool,
Yeah,
letting
what's
you
that
know
about?
that you have
that you have a modifier in there.
Modifier in there.
Okay. Cool. And then you can save this out or send it directly to the printer if you're like on Octoprint or something. Sweet. And in the preview, it won't quite show that, right? But,
No, it won't show.
But yeah. But in Prusa, it's a little different. But if you're using I almost say Cruelty. If you're using Cura, then this is how you do it. Cool. Now I know how to do it. I haven't done it in so long. I used to do it like on board the printer, like because the printer had an option to change filament. So hopefully that's something y'all want to try out. And this is also, I think, documented too, right?
Yeah, and ARM VP is also saying that you also have filament change, and not only based on layer, but also overall height. It's under the pause at height feature.
This one
right there. Yep.
BBQ printers.
I guess it's a different G code that it's actually adding, because if you look at the G code that's exported from you can take a look at what the commands it's calling.
You can pause it at a height as well. Here's the height. Pause at height or pause at layer number.
There's a ton of really cool.
So I guess
stuff you
the
can play
filament
with.
change just it kind of initiates the movement to do a filament change.
Yeah, it'll have the head pause and then move over to the 0,
and
the origin.
kick off the command to do a filament change.
So from there, after the head moves over to the origin, and then it cools down the nozzle in case you're like not in the room, and then so when you come back, this is why I was going to explain how the V2 does it. It like beeps at you.
It beeps at
Yeah,
you.
so you come
At least
back.
It tells you.
Yeah, you push the dial, and it'll heat the nozzle back up. It'll give you enough time to change out the color.
Okay.
And then the next time that you push the dial in, it'll extrude filament to sort of clean out the last color, and then it'll ask if you want to continue or not. And then you'll just hit resume from there.
Okay.
It should go up. It's a little bit more easier on printers that have a screen like the CR10 Pro, because it'll just direct you to what you need to do. Like the buttons will all be there. The UX is a little bit more easier than just pushing in a button, not knowing what it's doing, because the translation for these printers, it's kind of lost.
On language transition. Excellent. Well, hopefully that's insightful. And folks, you're gonna have to play with it, and
depending on your project,
because of the commands.
Yeah.
But hey, that's how you do it in Cura.
All right. Let's go ahead and jump into the Learn Guide for the super small or simple 2-page. All it's really doing is just housing the links for the cases.
Do you want to check these comments? One of them is funny.
Is it?
Every printer has a cruelty mode.
Say that again.
Firmware only enables cruelty mode when you really don't have time to figure out what's going on. It's so true. It's so true. Ken, thank you. You're right. All right, so with that, let's jump in.
And then we have some other points from writer
Sadlovsky
on YouTube saying to make sure that your printer understands the M600 commands first. For some reason, his doesn't really know what to do with the M600 command.
Yeah, it really depends on
he has
the
to do it
firmware.
differently. Yeah.
Oh, the cruelty mode. Strikes again.
Sorry, just going through
Yeah, I
these.
just want to make sure we get everybody.
All the comments on
responded
here.
and stuff. They're great stuff. So, thanks, folks. I'm checking Facebook.
Oh, Robert's saying that when I was trying to put the Pico in there upside down, he says the mountings are different.
Oh, from the side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was.
I mean, I looked at the schematic. I thought they were the same.
Yeah.
Like the drawing.
Yeah, something is running into it.
Yeah, it's probably.
I think it's the USB.
I think it's the chip LED because it's.
Yeah, it's totally USB. So.
Yeah, it's a USB port.
So I've had to use the technique where you totally just cut away at the standoff. So right here.
That screen.
So I think that's the only modification I would have to do. You cut away at this portion right here.
Yeah, basically you have a semicircle.
Mm-hmm. Did that with, I think, the Phona for the Star Trek communicator.
I've done it with quite a few. Like when we're mounting Pi portals and there's such little clearance for the screen that you just have to chop your standoffs in half. So that
good point there, Robert, on Facebook.
Thanks, Rob.
Yep. Sweet. Let's see. Looking at other insightful comments.
Yeah.
That was a really good one.
It's just great. Like how many brains like all kind of talk about the same thing. It's great.
Right, let's go into the Learn Guide real quick.
Yes, here we go. Head on over to learn.adafruit.com. You can find that it's in the new category right on the homepage. So here we go.
I don't believe any of these are in stock, but you can sign up to get notified. I think everybody is waiting on more stock of these. They're so handy. I mean, we went through all 6 of the ones we had already. They're already inside projects. Yeah. Which, can't wait to show yours off. It's so cool.
Yeah, but this is amazing too. Look at that. I love this case. All right, so here are the parts.
So just general breakdown of what, this is supposed to be a general purpose case. You can mount all your projects. I see a lot of cases that have been on Thingiverse. And they're like enclosed and you can't really like have a header or standoffs on it. So I wanted to make something that you can actually use inside of a project beyond just getting it to blink a light.
There you go. All right, we got all the kind of peripherals that you would need, like USB cables, connectors, buttons, the whole shebang.
Yes, Pico.
Pico
blade.
Yeah. So here we go. All the parts you can download them here. They're linked. STLs are on Thingiverse. And just a real quick thing on slicing. We went into the deep mode of slicing, so that's good.
So a reminder on how to get that going. I don't remember the last time we talked about it, so a little refresher on that. Like we said before, the Lego plate prints in 2 parts. Yeah. And they're just glued together.
You can print them in one go.
You could. I think Jeff was able to just print them all in one go. So just depending on your printer, if it's nicely tuned.
Yeah.
So I have both versions on there: a sliced version and a full whole version. Same thing with the grid there. If you just want to print the grid separately, or you don't have any use for it.
And this is the screenshot of the UI we were just looking at in Cura.
Yeah, there's the menu cookie crumb, so you can get down to where the options for that is.
Sweet.
There was one more thing in there. Scroll up. Oh yeah, it breaks it down. Like if you want the Lego plate, here's the part for that.
Yeah,
the
Pico
Pico case.
List, so
the parts list for the.
Describes what we got. Cool. All right. Pretty
what else? Oh yeah, the Fusion 360 files are there too. So if you want to peek at the history of how, or the timeline of how all this is built, you can check that out as well.
Just a quick kind of thing.
All
if
the
you're
components.
using a different CAD package, you could always download it in a different format. Right here at the top, this is Fusion's kind of share UI. You can either open it in Fusion if you have an account, but if you use something else like Tinkercad or SolidWorks, you can grab a step file right here, or a SAT file, whatever file you might. It'll want your email. Yeah, it looks like it's down right now. Whoops. That's what you get for cloud stuff. But when it's up, you can
Bad timing, guys.
Nah, it's probably loading. It just took a
There it
second,
goes.
guys. Come on.
Yay.
There's a markup tool, and you can interact with it in your browser. It's not that bad. Come on.
So there is the 3D model for the Pi Pico. Check that out. See how
Yeesh.
that is mounted in there. You can see like the drafts and all that was added to have the slide switch portion print without any supports.
Yeah, nice drafted angle at the bottom there.
And then your little indents for the buttons.
I haven't used this UI in a minute, sorry guys.
Looks like they updated it too.
Yeah, they did.
It's like a nice render now. Whoa!
Explosive Pico.
Some nice castellated pads there. Make it super easy to solder multiple things to the board.
Yeesh.
And one of the tricks that Lamar was telling us when we were looking at the pinouts for this, you can tell what is the ground pin by the shape of the pin. It's a square. All the grounds have square pins as opposed to like these rounded.
Can I counter?
Uh-oh. There's differences?
Once you add solder,
oh, you can't tell.
you can't even tell that it's a square. So nice try, but sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, looking between these two, it's like, you know, at a distance, it looks like they're both rounded.
You could do what John did, add some female headers. There might be enough room in the case.
Yeah, there should. You might have to expand it, but that's easy to do.
It's easy to do.
It's all sketches that update everything else.
Excellent. All right, we'll just jump back into the Learn Guide once I put this guy back in order.
I think that's pretty much it. Let me just clearing up this table.
So check it out, folks. Again, you can get the file in multiple
oh, one of the things I did not link, though. Dang it, I'm going to have to go back there and link. The ancillary things like the battery holder with the Lego studs on it, if you guys need.
Yeah, this would be
that.
part of the other project. The, oh boy, was it the Cutie Pie?
I think it was
a bunch of the.
Yeah, I think the Cutie Pie or the
Stemma Lego stuff as well.
The LED Lego clips. I think that's where all of that is. Okay. The clips for that, and then the battery holders. We have the 500 milliamp, the 2200 milliamp. So it's like the cylindrical battery holder. It's like a clip.
Yeah, that's right. It's a nice one.
Beefy and then I didn't like write down like how to wire any of these because I was just following the documentation on that Raspberry Pi Pico has. So you can just search for those. It's just on the, I forget the name of it. VBus? Yeah, VBus.
Okay.
And this is confusing right here.
Guide,
One thing to take note, this is confusing because I thought this right there was VBus. It's offset.
Get closer, please.
I thought this pin right there was a VBus.
No,
nope, it's the top because there's no room because of the.
Yeah, that's a tough one, folks.
Yeah, so just remember.
Easy to mistake that one.
Yep. That was the only issues I had with that.
Okey-dokey.
All right, and there you go. Pi Pico, Lego.
Should have just pseudo wormy for.
Yeah, he had
He was doing a kind of a scavenger hunt in the before times. He went to Disney World, and he like hit it, and I had to. Me and Gavin, Pedro's son, we were like scavenger hunting for a couple other different logos, and he stuck them in different places in the park, and.
I think this was at Tomorrowland or something.
It was in Tomorrowland.
Lots of fun. Little geocaching type deal going on. All right, so that's this week's project. Lego Pico.
Check it out. It's on the Learn Guide.
Get those Pico projects started because of tons of libraries. I think Beta 1 was released a couple days ago to get CircuitPython on the Pico. If you are in the CircuitPython chat, I think Scott was already talking about the audio that he has working on there, like based on button pushes.
So here's a circuit diagram for folks that really need a kind of a circuit diagram to make sure that their wiring is correct. Some demo code, and these pages are getting updated as the APIs and things change. But yeah, there you go. There's everything you want to know about a Pico. Getting started with Pico. Guide from Kenny, so check it out.
Yeah. So it certainly says it's hip to be square. It keeps you grounded.
That's funny. That's a good one.
And then Mark Gambler has agrees that that shape has helped him a couple times.
Okay. Good.
Round wire through a square hole. Good commentary on the Discord. Let's go ahead and check out prototyping. Lots of more Pico stuff coming up.
Okay. So, do we want to do this one or this one first?
Probably this one.
Okay. All right, cool. So this is a MIDI fighter. So it's a MIDI controller with these Sanwa arcade buttons. They're really fun. It isn't running a Pico though, it's running a feather. So I milled the top cover out of some wood using my Bantam tools, and I also made a little PCB for a feather. So the feather fits in there and it could pop out with these female headers. And I got these JST XH connectors here, so it's easier to mount, or it's easier rather to connect and swap out the buttons. So that's what I wanted to make. It was kind of like a side quest project that I put together while printing a bigger project. But this is running CircuitPython using the MIDI library, and this is some customized code that Liz Clark put together. So it's just running a couple of MIDI notes. So it's been a lot of, it just kind of, I just really wanted to play with the buttons, to be honest. Like, these Sanwa buttons are like super responsive. So they're very, very fun to play with. And I'm just using Logic and GarageBand to play around and play some notes in a patch, but it's sort of a side quest. I may or may not do a learn guide for this. I just really like the feather. The feather doesn't have like 40 GPIO or whatever, so I could only fit this many, but there are some extra pins in there. I think I could do a total of 12 I/O. So if folks want to know more about it, I guess let me know. But yeah, that is what I was working on.
I think that could be one of the quick projects.
Yeah, it would be really cool while printing this guy. So this is also a MIDI controller, but this one has more buttons. It's got 16 buttons, and so it's a 4x4. Raspberry Pi Pico is right there. So there's a little piece of acrylic that I milled out, 3D printed case that snap fits together. The idea is to use this 5-way switch to be able to select, have a menu here in this display. This is an OLED display. It's all running on CircuitPython, code by Liz, of course. She is collaborating on this one. And there's an LED driver board that just came out in the Adafruit shop, and that's what's going to power all the LEDs. So we're going to use that LED driver expander I/O to power all the LEDs over I2C, and it's going to be chained up to this guy here, which is the OLED display. It also has I2C. I 3D printed the handle because I thought it would look cool with a handle, and then we broke out the micro USB right here using a extension thing. So here's the bottom of it. Go ahead and open it. I might need a spudger tool because it's got some really nice tight snaps. So let me see if I can open it so folks can see inside there. Try a different corner here. So the snap fits open like that. Looks like a lunchbox. And we'll talk about this guy here. So this is a little 3D printed PCB mount for the Pico. So the Pico's up there. Here's that little USB extender. We sell some, this is a great way to turn your micro B into a USB-C because we sell that, but I just stuck with the micro USB thing. And it's panel mounted there with these screws, yeah? Okay, so that's that bit there. Underneath the Pico will be that LED driver board, the AW, whatever, I don't know the name, the model of it, but there's the Pico. And let's take a look at this side here. So here is the display. This is the 1.5 inch 128 by 128 OLED display. It's a grayscale display. I'm just trying to turn my focus on. There we go. So it has the Stemma QT ports in here, and you can see here that we'll be able to daisy chain the I2C boards together. So this will connect to the LED driver, and then this right here will connect to, or rather the other way around, this will connect to the LED driver, and this will connect to the Pico. And then this will also connect to the Pico. This is a little PCB that we milled for that 5-way switch. The 5-way switch has 6 inputs here, and that way we can select which key we want to change. So the idea is that you can, on the fly, update the MIDI notes per button. So you can use this UI and pick the button that you want to change, and then you can use the nav switch to update the note. There's a demo of it on Show and Tell. Liz was showing it off while it was on breadboard and prototyping. I think it was either last week or the week before, so you can check that out. And I can't wait to start wiring. I got quite a bit of wiring to do here. I'm going to share all the grounds together, and then all these are going to go into the bottom of these. So I'm going to try to solder everything to the bottom so I can keep this Pico revealed and looking nice through the acrylic. I'm just trying to get these cables like not all crazy. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. There's more stuff coming. I really like snap fit stuff because I can open it without having to unscrew it. So that is the MIDI projects that we got going on.
Yay.
I'm done now. I hope you like it.
Let's see, some good comments. Slick MIDI controller says, Bruce, so many arcade buttons you want to insert a coin in before playing. That's a good idea. And with the lunchbox, get them 3 Princeton sandwiches.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, coming up soon. Got Scott working on firmware and all that cool stuff to get this to work.
Yeah, the library for the LED driver just came out, and there's a repo on it with example code. So
I think it comes in today. It is in stock in the shop right now. If you want to grab
let's take
one,
a look at it real quite quick. If you head on over to adafruit.com/new, you see all the new things that were added last night, and one of them was, well, it's not last night, but you know what I mean. It's still
a couple days ago.
Yeah, so they're in stock right now. If you want to have a bunch of LEDs, and you don't have that many GPIO. Or like the Pico, you've basically used up all the GPIO, so all that's left is to daisy chain some I2C devices. And this is what the board looks like. It's got the stemma connectors on the in and out. On the in and out, on the left and the right side. Sweet. And there's a data sheet, and the Learn Guide is being worked on right now by Kattni. So it's fairly new. It's always fun to work on a new project that's dependent on the new product as well. So that's great. Cool. Any questions about any of the, like the display or the nav switch? Let me know. I can send some links to what they are. They're out of stock right now, but I think we'll get them in stock. The nav switch. You can just type in 5-way, and it shows up here. It's the nav switch. I think what we'll do is we'll share the board file so folks can have it made by Oshpark, or maybe we'll manufacture the board if Lamar thinks it's something that folks will buy a lot of. Yeah, it's a really simple PCB. There's not much to it. Yeah.
So we got Noel Petit on Facebook saying waiting for the 2040s to be back in stock.
Yeah,
definitely
you can
sign up.
Yeah, for notifications. Like this right here, you can sign up for any one of these things when they say out of stock. Okay, that's our prototyping segment.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into Community Makes.
Sweet. Every Tuesday we do a time lapse. We find a design from the community and we print it out. This week it's a little bit themed.
It is Valentine's Sunday? When is Valentine's Day?
It's the 14th.
Sunday.
Like how I dodged the question. I know it's the 14th. So this is a red Bulbasaur that has some hearts on him, and it's designed as a planter.
Yeah, so this is a nice little remix by Kenneth L on Thingiverse. Originally designed by Kenneth. Or no, that's his username. Sorry, okay. It's Kenneth something.
Okay, Valentine Bulbasaur.
And a nice little remix having these little hearts all over where the spots would be on Bulbasaur.
Yeah.
This is before I guess he gets to his final form. It's the cute form, and you can see here, and you can paint and then add. I did not print these the rows and the stems on there, but those are available. Cool. There's also like a little like a lid or plug that you can add in there, and you can have candies and ring will fit inside. There's a video. I did not see this.
All right,
play it real quick.
I don't want to get taken down by YouTube. Yeah. But yeah, sweet.
So
PSD Wizard on
takes about, I forgot what the timing was on it, like 6 hours of print. So go ahead and get that started now, especially if you want to paint it. Yeah. I ran out of time.
You could use this red glitter PLA.
Yeah, so gorgeous. This stuff is amazing. I was just testing it out, and it has nice sparkles when the camera wants to focus in on it. You kind of see it.
Control that, yeah. So go closer.
There you go. You can see all the glitter on that. It looks so nice. There wasn't any clogging that happened so far.
Yeah,
so.
A tiny bit of under extrusion, but
yeah, I think
maybe that's
right around
the Bowden.
Yeah, maybe.
But excellent.
Oh,
no
right
support
there.
material as well, right?
Yeah, look how shiny and glittery that is.
Yeah.
It is from Everyone. I can post a link if you guys want to test some of this out.
It's about $25.
It's like $26.
Depending on where you might be.
Yeah.
It's from Amazon.
This came out awesome.
Yeah.
Wonderful job on that.
Yeah. Did I play the time-lapse video? Yeah, I did.
I think you did.
So it's on Thingiverse. We just looked at it here. There's a video as well you can check out.
Mr. Certainly Bruce is asking any recommendations for painting on PLA. I think airbrush, he asks, will be, I think, the easiest way to get, like, without getting globs.
Oh, like with
all
acrylic
over.
paint?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can do acrylic paint, you just have to get a couple of layers on. Yeah, I think airbrushing is probably the cleanest without having it, you know, to layer it on so much. Just got to mask out your areas.
With some masking tape.
I have not tried any oil-based paints, so I have no clue on how that's going to work. It's just the water-soluble acrylic paints is what I've used before in the past. And it's just like, you know, 2 or 3 layers. The only thing too is that the paint likes to seep into like into all like the layer lines, so you just got to be careful with that.
Yeah, it'll bleed in.
The good thing is though that if you do get bleed-ins, you can like scrape away at it after it dries, and it's like a post-processing after cleanup.
Right.
It looks pretty good.
All right.
And then also got this blue, which I didn't even talk about during the case one. So it's like the exact same manufacturer, Everyone, and that's what it looks like in blue.
Yeah.
This is very similar.
In that same blue. And look what it looks like when you print it on a powder-coated bed. This looks gorgeous. It's got this nice texture. It does not look 3D printed. It looks sandblasted.
Right, even the sides.
Yeah.
When you're that close, anyway.
There's a little under extrusion. Don't look at that. Admire the black.
All the sparkliness. Bruce is asking if we suggest sanding it before painting to avoid any layer issues.
I mean, yeah, I think it'll work.
I usually don't, just because of the time it
it's
takes.
Just time,
Yeah. I'm sure that would definitely help
it's always great
the bleeding.
and stuff.
Yeah, definitely sand it if you want to avoid the bleeding. Because even masking it off with tape, it gets underneath the tape.
Yeah. Okay, well, cool. Check it out. We got a link in the time lapse, and check out the video too.
Excellent job there.
All right. Well, we have a couple of other community makes that that folks shared with us. On the sort of topic category of Lego, we got a 3D printed Lego webcam cover. Kind of the idea is that this is supposed to cover up your webcam for privacy purposes, and Thingiverse sees your make things with posted this photo of his or her make.
Nice.
Yeah. So
what I really like about this is that it's
nice.
pretty much like a universal mount for attaching things to the top of your monitor. Because I think there was some reports that the Apple computers, if you like block the camera, there's actually like a sensor on there that'll mess with like the dimming on the screen, so they recommend not doing that. Really? So I just have it over to the side holding like, you know, little figurines, and in this case you can't see it here. I have the 360 camera that is mounted on top with a quarter 20 attached to it.
We could show it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just literally point it
All
up.
right, so
no, like
this
or like that.
So right on top of there you can see a guy there.
And then this one is the one we have. So the idea is that you can remix it to fit your thing, and that's what Made With Things did.
Yeah, so there's
so
a quarter 20
that this
there.
is for a ThinkPad, so they remixed it for their ThinkPad.
Yeah, you can get the Fusion files to get the thickness of whatever the monitor or whatever.
I made it fit this iMac, but folks can make it fit a laptop and other things. Cool. It's a really fun kind of way to adorn your computer or your monitor. Okay, and then the last thing we have is I think the first make, or maybe one of the first makes, of this PS4 display tripod mount. This was a kind of a request from Lady Ada, who wanted a way to mount display to her PS4 controller. So happy to see that the Timelapse just worked out and fit this kind of device here. Kind of fashioned their own mounting piece for this specific device, which is pretty cool. So there you go. It's a great controller too. I still use it every now and then. Just needs a couple of screws. And that's the Sweets Community Makes.
Yay.
Thank you everybody for sharing your stuff.
Super cool. Like seeing confirmation that the prints actually work.
Yeah, it really is nice.
Mr. Certainly is echoing the warnings about trying to cover the camera up with the lux sensors and brightness, auto contrast, and the true tone on Macs. So yes, I just use it as a little mount for the cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice way to adorn your computer. And he also, Bruce also says that you can disable the auto settings inside settings, and the auto contrast, there's a registry tweak to disable. So if you do want to use it as a camera cover, it's just some steps that you can do there.
Excellent. Thanks, Bruce.
And then there is some chatter on heart-shaped pancakes. Now I want a pancake.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's almost that time then.
Let's see. Got Saltwater saying wolf. Is that dog on the floor? Yes.
Where?
Check it out. Over here.
Where's he at?
Switch over to the camera. And there he is. Wait, where do I get him? Oh no,
Remember,
I can't
this
see
can
it.
move too. So if you
Yeah.
need to move that, you can.
There he is.
Hi, Rufio.
I won't say the magic words because it ain't time yet.
WALK. Sorry about that.
All right, I think that is it for this week's show. That's not the end of the shows, though. Later on tonight, we're going to host Show and Tell again.
Yeah. So come on by. We invite you folks to check to come in and share your projects, works in progress, makerspace, office area, whatever you like. So you can join in the Discord server. We'll paste the link to the StreamYard link and the live broadcast chat room when time comes, like maybe 5 minutes before 7:30. So around 6 or 7:20-ish.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then you can jump in and share your stuff. And then at 8 p.m. is Ask an Engineer with Lamar and Phil. So Lady Ada and Mr. Lady Ada will be talking about all open source news, new products, Python and hardware, and more. So that is Wednesday, full lineup of shows. Then on Thursday, we got John Park's Workshop every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Hang out with John. And then Friday is Deep Dive with Scott. You can check him out on Fridays, 2 p.m. Last week, he had special guest Lady Ada, which was awesome to see them chat about Pico stuff. So check it out. On Mondays, as we said in the beginning of the show, we do the CircuitPython meeting. You can join in and listen in on Mondays at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. On Tuesdays, it's JP's Product Pick of the Week at 4 p.m. Eastern Time or 1 p.m. Pacific Time. Oh, I forgot to go to Lady Ada's on Sundays. She did a desk of Lady Ada. Wait, was it Sunday? Is it every Sunday? Every Sunday around like 8, 9, or 10 hacker-ish times. So you can tune into those just by hanging out in the socials. I think that's it. We covered them all. It's always tough to do them. But I appreciate you guys hanging in there with us at the end of the show. So thanks, folks.
There's one comment. I lost it. Dang it.
Sorry.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah, I need a drum roll.
We'll do it with the MIDI.
Bye,
Okay,
folks.
that's it.
We'll see you
next
tonight.
week.
Bye.
Or see you tonight.
You did it. Bye.